Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. Excuse me. Bad timing there. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty. Can you tell I do this live? And welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. Here is the book we're reviewing today, Ordinary Gods. I'm just going to show you a little bit more of the cover there because I do like a good wraparound cover. And while we're talking about how cool that looks, let's start just by talking about the artwork for this one because it's worth commenting on quickly. Watanabe, I think is the individual's name, Philippi Watanabe. When I first started flicking through these pages, I was thinking, oh, this is good. My initial reaction was actually, oh, like quietly confident artistry. Like this guy, I assume, knows what they're doing and doesn't feel the need to really show off. You have like you drop right into the middle of an action sequence, and it's fast and it's brutal. There's a slight issue of a magical appearing pistol, but quite a lot of the way the first scene is shot is that you go backwards and forwards between a chase and an action sequence. So there's a lot of stuff happening off panel, as it were, and it's shown really effectively. And then you get to the end of the third page with this particular panel. Let's get some better light on that one. And I absolutely love that image. Not only is it great with the light coming from behind and above with the different shadows cast in different colors, it shows like that so much stuff has happened beyond what you're seeing or what you're shown anyway. But it's a weird thing. Somebody else commented on an Instagram post over the other day about that Texas Blood, that sometimes when a panel doesn't necessarily have action on it, you get more of a sense of what is going on. You can actually find yourself being drawn into the moment a little bit better. And he said you could hear what was going on that panel. And I can hear something that's going on this one. It's this brilliant moment of firearms, bullet shells basically rolling on the floor. Glass that's fallen over on the table rolls and crashes to the ground. It's that just few seconds of when all the gunfire and the screaming and the pain and all that's died down, there is not quite calm, but the after effects, and brilliantly well done. Then you turn the page. Not only is there some quite brutal ultraviolence, but it was also like, wait, hang on, one of these people was possessed by some superpowered goddess? What on earth is going on? I mean, it's called Ordinary Gods. So, it's not like I was really expecting just a pure, normal crime story. But this is an odd choice that I quite like. Because that first bit was just 22 years ago. Then we actually have a title page for chapter 1, As the World Turns. Brilliant idea. And then we end up with a slightly different page layout. Now, this is something that happens throughout, because by now we know there's something different going on. This isn't just a crime story as we thought it might be. It's dealing with alternate storylines over alternate worlds or universes even. And whenever they're dealing with the more supernatural, godlike kind of stuff as an out-and-out story on their world, they go from, instead of having the two portrait pages either side, it's just one cross landscape, which is a brilliant idea. And I hope they actually find a way to work that in as they go through the rest of the story. And we find out more about these gods, of which there are a lot of them, and there is a rebellion. And it turns out, without really spoiling too much here, that the people who rebelled against the other gods have been captured and sent to Earth as a prison. I think 5 of them, if I remember correctly, which is a kind of cool idea. But it also leads to one of the odd, questionable bits of the story, where the main protagonist and his kid sister, the kisses friend, just picked up a YA adult or YA novel, and somebody clearly riffing off the Scientology cult thing tries to get them to take a test to see if they are magical as well. And our hero protagonist literally just pulls it apart. Basically, he's read stuff online, he knows what's going on. They think that loads of gods have come here from somewhere else and they live amongst us, and some of us might actually be gods. But this cult exists in the world, not in the same way, like not as Scientology. They give it a different name, which I forget off the top of my head. But it's an organization that is known. When he tells his co-workers and when he tells his family about it, they all have opinions on it. They all talk about that it is a terrifying thing and they are relentless in what they do. But as you're reading the comic book, you do find out that that's actually what's going on. And it's like, is this written from a Scientology point of view? Aren't they trying to tell us that this is the way the world actually works? If I look into it, will I find out that the creator of this comic book is a Scientologist? I don't know. I actually don't want to know. Because if that's true, I think I'd dislike this book intensely. But because it's a fantasy story and it is just all made up kind of stuff in a comic book, I actually like that conceit. I think it plays really nicely. And it starts an issue of basically violence that you're not expecting and then stuff that happens at the beginning kind of ties in together, and it makes more sense. Because not only is this narrative split between two kind of separate but interlocking parts, it also doesn't flow in a way that makes immediate obvious sense. And I like that within one issue, it does tie enough together that it makes you appreciate what you read at the start of it, but it also leaves a lot unanswered. There are still gaps in that story, and I think that's brilliant when you're going to carry on exploring it. And you also have, this is just one of the things I quite like myself every once in a while, some nice little prose back matter. And I will certainly advise, it's only like 2-3 pages, but it's very well written indeed. It gives me a sense that this story could just be prose if it wants to be, but I'm very glad it isn't, because the artistry adds so much extra to it, and it gives you an extra sense of what's going on and allows you to develop some of your ideas on your own and see what you think's going on, rather than just exactly what you're told. All in all, very impressive first issue, highly recommended. I'm almost certainly going to go back and do an extra review later on today, because still, I think, 3 things that I want to review this week, and I've not got many days left. So until then, look after each other. Stay safe. Bye.